So work with me on this one. Follow along with me.
Okay, I'm following.
So you're driving your tractor trailer and you're delivering in a city.
Okay.
All right, you back in the loading dock or maybe a side delivery.
What's my trailer?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It could be whatever it hooks to a semi.
Okay.
So there you are.
Here I am.
And all of a sudden on the loudspeaker you hear a voice, a female voice. You're in imminent danger.
I know where you're going.
Evacuate.
Yeah.
Evacuate. Now, I'm talking about you've already gone in to get your bills, to talk to them. So you're on your way out, and they're saying evacuate. Do you now take the time to run to your truck, pull it out, shut the doors, and then try to pull out, or do you just run and just get out of there? What do you do? I mean, and of course, like if you have a pet in the truck, you would want to go and, save the pet, obviously. But seriously, what's your reaction? How weird was that the other day?
I think
the bomb.
Here's the thing. I don't know. It's until you're in that situation, I think it would be something that would be really hard to answer. But, if you think of the War of the Worlds,
War of the Worlds.
If you kind of think along that line where you don't know what's going to happen, the rig could be, your semi could be a safe haven, something that could protect you from something. So you really don't know what you want to do because it could also be a death trap. So it's kind of really.
Maybe even jump in the rig and just pull out.
That's what I would do.
You know what I mean?
I would jump in my rig and just and book it. And then as soon as I can, I would then shut my doors. But I wouldn't even be concerned about shutting the doors if I'm empty. If I got a full load.
Well, yeah, you may have pallets that are like up to the ceiling in the very back. You pull out, which your life is more important than that stuff, obviously. But here's the other side of the coin. You hear all of a sudden there's a speaker saying you're in imminent danger. You're going to die. And there you are as a truck driver and you pull out of the dock. Really, you're like, screw this. I'm just going to jump in my rig and crank it up and go. And you pull out and like a bunch of skids just roll out the back, right? And then you get down the street and there's like a path of garbage everywhere that you were hauling. And they pull you over and they go, yeah, that was a hoax. See what I'm saying? Like, now your whole career is in jeopardy because that all I'm saying is that voice, that female voice that you keep hearing on the news, it's like, wow, what do you really do in that situation? And truck drivers really are out there. They're in situations where around the corner something could be dangerous.
Well, there was when all those mobs were everywhere. Look at the poor driver got in trouble because
Minneapolis.
Yeah. So drivers do run into those kind of situations. If someone was going across the loudspeaker right now saying that you're in imminent danger, you got to leave, I probably would say to the doc, hey, what's going on? And if they say, I don't know, say, okay, listen, I'm going to leave. I'll radio you and, let's stay in communication or something like that. But I don't want to take a chance on something like this being not a hoax. It's just something that's too hard to say.
So do you have time to, like I said, pull out, put your brakes on, run back, shut your doors, and then pull out again? Most people would be in a panic at that point. The one thing I do think from, I don't know if people have drawn this conclusion because I haven't really listened to the news much lately, but think about this. If they gave a 15-minute warning, it almost sounds like they weren't wanting people to get killed. They were just wanting to do damage and make a statement. That's what it sounds like to me, because they had a witness account that as soon as they heard it, they flew over like out of the, outside the city real quick and just watched it from a hill. And then as soon as the 15 minutes were up, I guess they waited a second or two, nothing happened. So they started coming back into town. So a couple minutes later, that's when the bomb went off. So even after the 15-minute warning, there was still time after.
A little bit of lag.
Yeah, at least that's what this one witness said. So all really I'm saying is, what would you do? Think about that. See, this is the danger. Like a truck driver, Like you and I, we read about it. We go, oh, it was up in Nashville. It wasn't even close to us, right? But if you're a truck driver, roll the dice. You may be in the area of the next mass shooting, the next mob, inferno, the next bomb going off, whatever. You're a truck driver. You're out there, and you just don't know until the incident happens enough. You're close enough to where it happened. Boom. Look at the World Trade Center when that thing came down. I'm sure there was trucks in the area.
Oh yeah.
When the World Trade bombing was in like 92 or whatever the first time, there was rigs probably because I've been down there with my tractor trailer. I'm just saying, as a truck driver, it's almost like the Forrest Gump thing. Well, I think I mentioned Forrest before. He was always at an event. He taught Elvis how to dance. He was at the Washington
I was trying
March.
to figure out where you were going with that one.
Well, I'm just saying, like, he was always traveling, and then there was some famous event around him where, I wonder if there was any. First off, I wonder if there was any rigs in the area. It was Christmas Day. Most likely, there wasn't. It was a business district more than anything.
Yeah, but what? I'm still trying to figure out what was the purpose of it. I mean,
a statement is get my guess. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you didn't want to hurt someone, but you choose the birth of our Savior to do it, like the day that we celebrate. But they did it on a day where everything was closed, so there would be less casualties.
Yeah, but
so I mean, there's so many different things that you could look at for it.
In the defense of the birth of the Savior, honestly,
I know.
I'm just saying nobody really knows the date.
The day.
That's
I
just
understand
when people
it.
celebrate.
And that's what I'm saying is that's when we, as a country or as a nation, or
celebrate the birth of Jesus.
Right,
yeah.
because that's what we,
So,
we know. I know.
So you don't know what you would do. You would talk to the dock worker and you would say, "What's going on here?" See, I wouldn't do that. I would be like, "Hey, I'm out of here." I don't, if whether it's a joke or not. I probably would. I would do one of two things. If there was enough time, if I thought I had time, I'd shut my doors and roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Or B, I would just start running down the street. I wouldn't stay in the area where the voice is at.
Right. No. But see, did the voice actually say you have 15 minutes to evacuate?
Yeah, I think it was 15 minutes, and then it was down to 8 minutes and 5 minutes.
Right.
It kept saying you're in imminent danger.
Then I would probably tell the doc, say, "Hey, I'm not going to take a chance. I'm going to go. If this isn't a hoax, then good for us. If it is a hoax, then I'll be back when it's done. And you can come with me and we can all go to, jump in my trailer and we'll pull it away and I'll get as many people out of here also." So, I mean, you think of it that way too.
That's true. You could
jump in my trailer, shut my doors, let's go. And get as many of the dock workers jumped in the back of the trailer to pull it away.
A bomb could tear through a tractor trailer, can destroy it. I mean,
yeah.
I'll tell you what was a fateful event was the Oklahoma City bombing.
Right. That was a truck.
You remember seeing, that was a rider, a budget rental truck.
Still a truck.
But do you remember seeing what that building looked like when the bomb went off? If the bomb's powerful enough, it'll level things. Mm-hmm. And so people that are standing, they said they found remains. So think about that. They didn't think anybody was killed. Now they're thinking there might be somebody that was blown apart. Who knows?
Well,
who knows? Maybe it was the killer.
That's what I was going to say. It was maybe a suicide thing done.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to. Someone had to drive the vehicle there and park it.
Absolutely.
I never looked at any of the video to see if someone got out and walked away from it.
I don't think they have video of it. They have pictures. I don't know if they have a video of the vehicle parking.
They have to there's so many videos everywhere between.
You would think there would be
ATMs, and it's a business district, so you have all those businesses that have the cameras for their security. There's going to be footage of it, and that might be why no one walked out of it.
So, anyways, it'd be interesting this week to see how it all plays out.
Oh yeah,
and hopefully nobody's in danger of another one going off. Maybe, I don't wish death on many people, but
on many. I heard that.
Listen, hopefully, if there is remains, it's the clown that made the bomb and he's dead. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that's what it is. But he also had a female. I don't know if they maybe had a computerized thing.
It sounded like it would have been.
Yeah. So, but anyways, moving on. So
I hope everybody had a great holiday so far this week.
Yeah? You mean you're hoping people got really good presents, or what are you hoping for?
I'm hoping that drivers...
Like what's a good holiday on Christmas? Is it like the
that everybody
takedown?
was happy.
Is it the takedown?
Nah.
Like what you get?
Nah.
I got a drone.
You did?
I did. My first drone.
And a VR.
And a VR. That's right. What does VR stand for?
Virtual reality.
I know. Well, I kind of didn't know. But no, that's pretty cool. I can't wait to play with it. But anyways, so moving on to trucking, the Kentucky Great American Truck Show
Yeah.
is obviously canceled for this March again. But they just announced they might. This is kind of a weird date. They might. They're going for 2 different dates. They might have it in September. So it's the weird look I had on my face too. Think about that. Okay, you're gonna plan this event now for September, and then turn around 6 months later and have it again in March when you normally have it in 2022.
Well, also, isn't the other one in August?
That's true. You're right.
So,
no, it's actually, I think at the beginning of September, the Dallas Truck Show.
No, it's August.
It's either at the end of August or pull it up and just see Dallas Truck Show. I think it's either the last week in August or the first week in September, or it might run from one to the other. But you're right about that as far as, wow, if you plan it for September, I think it was mid-September or towards the end, but how many people are going to want to pack their gear up, go to the one show, and then fly in and do another show in Dallas? I personally think Louisville will be a flop. If
August 22nd to the 24th.
Okay, so then you were.
I know, it's very hard. It's like one of those things I just want to slap.
No, but you were. But so, anyways, yeah. So August 22nd, and then 5-6 weeks later, go do another big show in in Louisville. Rather, yeah. Fly up to Louisville. I think a lot of vendors would be turned off on that.
Well, I don't think a lot of vendors would be able to. I mean, sure, some of them would be able to supply that demand of going from one to the other, but I think there's so much preparation that gives those companies time to do 6 months apart from each other and get their product done. To kind of do that, I think it will be a little difficult for them.
I mean, there's a lot of companies that are like really, really big. They can just they can afford a crew to take off a week in August and then another week in September.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think money wise, logistically wise, everything. I don't think that'll be successful. I think they would be better off if they're so afraid of the COVID, and wait till 2022, wait till 2023, or never have it again. Whatever. All I'm saying is I don't think September would be a good month for the Louisville Truck Show this year. That's my opinion.
Have it in the summer. Have it, well, like do it in, well, no, there's really no time that if you don't want to have a conflict between the two of them.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Moving on.
So check this out. Let me see who this is. There's a police investigation right now on a potential suicide by truck.
I hate them.
Right. It says police are investigating a possibility of a suicide after a man was killed by a semi-truck in California on Wednesday. The accident happened on December 16th, so it was last week at 3:40 a.m.
10 days ago.
Yeah, 3:40 a.m.
A.m.?
Yeah, so it's like, do you remember that one video that Tuxedo was sent from some guy in the Bronx, and it showed a guy literally just walking right on the cross Bronx Expressway right at its rig and got killed.
Right.
Well, this almost sounds the same way. It says the accident happened on December 16th around 3:40 in the morning, according to...
was it close to a bar?
I don't know. It just says a semi truck was traveling along Interstate 10 west of the Haugen-Lehman Way exit when it struck a pedestrian, killing them. The truck driver was unhurt, obviously. It says witnesses, including the truck driver, say it appeared as if the man intentionally ran in front of the moving rig, and police are now investigating the incident as a possible suicide. He was 22 years old. It says the family of 22-year-old man Jack Fisher has started a GoFundMe in order to help cover the funeral costs. So bottom line with this is if you're looking to commit suicide, I can guarantee you that one's going to work if you jump out in front of a truck trailer, but you're destroying other lives.
Put a pin on yourself saying, this is suicide. Don't blame the driver.
Yeah, I don't want to see anybody commit suicide.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that the other day. It's so funny. And we were talking about how how horrible it is when somebody goes into that deep, dark hole to where they think life isn't worth living anymore, and they're just going to go ahead and end their lives. It's like, guys, if you lost your wife, if you lost your money, if you lost your home, you lost your job, you lost everything, guess what? You can always start over. It isn't that hard.
No.
You guys got to get it in your minds out there that have depression. I mean this sincerely. Just remember one thing. You can start over. That's why I always said to you, like, how many people kill their spouse when they're going through a divorce, or they catch their lover?
Most of that's out of anger.
It's out of, well, some of them plot and do it. All I'm saying is, why go spend the rest of your life in prison when you can just start over?
Yeah.
It's yes, it's a broken heart. Why end it all if you just went broke and you lost a really great job? Why? There's
most of the ones that go into that, though, actually have a chemical imbalance. So,
well,
but if you're a person that do have that kind of situation and those thoughts, just go get help.
Yeah, I mean,
and there is phone numbers to call and stuff like that. Call.
I'd say pray.
Yeah, well, that's the best.
But here's the thing, my message to them is, besides praying, my message is, honestly, get your mind into thinking that you can lose everything. And really, you and I have lost everything already. Mm-hmm. We did years and years ago, and we started over. I mean, it works out that way. That's all I'm saying is your life is worth way more. And believe me, there's happiness waiting for you. So, and here's the other thing. You walk out in front of a tractor trailer. What do you think that driver now, you know what I mean? Now there's a driver that's
scarred someone.
Yeah, he's got to literally wake up. I mean, some drivers are tough and they're going, screw that.
Yeah,
he deserved it.
It's a human life versus a deer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're driving and you kill somebody, most people that's a bad impact.
They're going to have a post-trauma after that.
Yeah, you're tearing everybody up when you do that, man. Don't, it's not worth it. Like Ruth Ann said, get help, make a phone call, call us, whatever you have to do. Moving on. So check it out, Ruth Ann.
You keep saying check it out. I can't see what you're saying.
No, listen. This is a weird story. After suicide, this story that comes out is just kind of weird. Snowmobiler killed after colliding with semi-truck, upstate New York highway. They don't know what happened, but I just wanted to bring that up. We yell at four-wheelers that are, brake checking semi-trucks and all that crap. Guys, a four-wheeler or a snowmobile, if you're trying to just shoot across a road on snow, or you're just driving along the road, maybe you're just flying along the road, and
like on the side of it, maybe
you can lose control. It's like that's the most ridiculous thing to do, is to be. And again, I don't know what happened, but obviously he went out onto the road and got killed by a truck trailer.
I wonder if he was trying to go across it, like a deer would cross the highway. But like the highway would have been clear because a driver wouldn't, a semi-driver wouldn't be driving on it if it was that bad, that a snowmobile would be driving on it, because a snowmobile has to have that snow underneath them. So my guess is maybe he was coming from a trail in the woods and tried to shoot across it, and like a deer picked the wrong time.
I don't know. You're right. I mean, you just...
That's the second time you heard him say that. I'm just pointing that out there.
What, the ear? But no, seriously, now listen. I mean, there's so many people, it's almost like playing chicken with your life. There was I wasn't actually going to talk about this tonight, but I'm going to bring it up. I was reading about a trucker that, they didn't say how it happened yet, but I don't think he died, but there's no report on him, but in front of a train and had his rig and trailer destroyed, right? Mm-hmm. Now they're not sure if he just tried to book it across at when the gates were coming down, or if he got stuck on the tracks, or whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. But do you know how many times a year that happens? Not many. It's a handful, where a trucker, gets caught on. He gets on a track when he's not supposed to, or the gates come down, whatever the case is, and his trailer gets smashed. Most of these guys live, believe it or not. First off, you never win against the train.
No.
Ever.
We had this conversation in our own vehicle the other day.
You never, I stopped on the tracks in my car.
He did it on the tracks.
On my car. But there was no ding, ding, ding.
But you
wait, before you explain, listen, do not lead the audience into thinking, oh, the lights were going ding, 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 and Troy was dumb enough to pull up on the tracks.
No, but you don't know when the lights would have gone ding, 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 ding.
But there was no trains coming in there.
You don't know that.
Well, just chill out for 1 second, all right? Listen to me. We were in a town where there's a railroad track at a red light, and we were behind somebody, and we were on the front of our car, ended up being on the track, okay? All right, but the light changed, and there was no train coming. Yes, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to say that. But I'm just saying, I don't want you to lead people into thinking that I took a chance and it was going ding, 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 ding. I would never do that.
No, it's just like when you're trying to go through like you're driving down the road and you're like looking at the light and it's green and all of a sudden it turns yellow right before you get up to it. And you're like, all right, how long do I have before? And you step on the gas, right?
You know what's funny?
The ding, ding, ding is the same thing. The ding, ding, ding and the lights flashing is their pre-warning that the gates are going to come down. So if a driver starts trying to get through it, I'm going to try and get through it before the gates come down because you got that warning a few seconds before that gate would have came down.
Do you remember how when our kids were little, and like if we were fighting or arguing, when we seen somebody, like if we went to a baseball game.
Oh my gosh, Hunter.
Like she would go, Mommy and Daddy are fighting.
My mom is mad
My
at
mom
my daddy.
called my daddy a bad name.
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
would call him a doofus or something.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, you remind me of the little kids. It's like, Trey was on a railroad track.
You brought it up, but I gotta point out here.
Trey, why are you picking on the trucker? You were on a railroad track the other day yourself.
Don't pick on my drivers.
That's what you sound like. It's
So,
like, duh.
I gotta say something quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So you know how we explained the story about how Troy was running late on Christmas Day. Well, here's what happened. Christmas Eve, our daughter's husband
You
works.
mean the other day?
Yeah,
Okay.
works for the power company. He got called out. He didn't get home till late the next morning so
Did she make them wait?
she made him wait.
So yeah, so she passed on the torture.
The torch was passed.
I want to go back. I just want to go back to the railroad track thing for a second. The reason I brought that up is because, do you know how many times in a year a trucker gets hit by a train? It's a handful.
You said that?
Well, what I'm getting at is rollovers, DUIs, all kind of crazy accidents, is common. Mm-hmm. But that's one of the very uncommon things because it's it's 100% driver error.
Yes.
The only thing that I would say could be pointed more towards not driver error is if you have like a belly box or a low boy to where it gets hung up. And it's a truck route, and there you are hung up on the tracks. Yeah, I'm just saying it's not your fault if you're trying to get off and 15 minutes later a train comes. That's not really trucker error.
If something like that or a mechanical error where
if it broke down or whatever.
the gate ended up smashing down.
Or ironically, it just blew up right on the track. Whatever the case is.
You never know.
There are some times where it's not driver error, but 99% of times on a train wreck, it is driver error. So I'm going to tell you, I can't even imagine applying for a job and then it asks any accidents and you have to explain, well, yeah, I was on a railroad crossing and my trailer got demolished. And how do you explain it wasn't my fault?
That's how it's the same thing as kind of like when you top a trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
You got enough warnings that you don't have the clearance, but you still think you're going to make it through and you top your trailer.
But the trailers get topped a lot.
I know.
So anyways, moving on. Why? It's just like this. Like, are you drinking over there? Okay, listen.
Truly?
Real quick. Let's mention our sponsors really fast. Rev Insurance. Tell us about Rev Insurance.
Rev Insurance is awesome. They cover all insurance needs for a truck driver.
And truckers only.
Truckers only.
If you think you're paying too much for insurance, listen to this phone number, 800-347-5373. That's 800-347-5373. Tell them Talk CDL said to call over there and Rev will beat their insurance. Okay? JJ Keller. Tell me about JJ Keller.
JJ Keller will help you be a legit owner-operator.
They'll help you start your company.
Yeah.
And they'll help maintain
with
it.
all the stuff that you need to make sure that you are doing all your paperwork properly.
I mentioned it last week.
Your authorities.
I mentioned it last week. How many small trucking companies get in trouble because they're not compliant? When they get an audit, they're screwed for like $30-$40 or whatever. I don't even know. It's like very cheap. You can have your trucking company monitored by these people, making sure your paperwork is all done. Phone number 888-601-2017. That's 888-601-2017. 2017. National Carriers are our third sponsor on the show. National Carriers out of Dallas, Texas. Got about 400 rigs, and they got 100 cattle
Pretty
trucks.
blue ones.
They got the extra big sleepers, loaded up condos. They do regional, over the road lease drivers. They have a few student drivers if you have a school. Great company.
And if you're a woman that wants to be a trainer, they could use you.
Actually, National Carriers is one of the rated highest companies that employ lady truckers.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
But
they're
they
very safety
because they
oriented.
like to employ lady truckers, there's so much more of a need of lady female trainers for these new
Yeah.
students because, there's just not enough ladies out there. So
Okay, rolling on. We're going to leave the number. It's 888-311-7076. That's 888-311-7076 for National Carriers. Okay, back to Tuxedo. All right, listen, Ruthann. Actually, the one thing that I wanted to talk about today, I looked up the worst states for drivers. I'm not even sure how it's titled. It's like the unsafest states in the United States. So
do you hear the noise in the background?
that's our air conditioner.
It's our heat, actually.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it was 28 degrees in Florida last night.
so if you hear the noise in the background, sorry, but my butt was cold, so we have the heat going.
Ruthann, I'm going to cut that out. Just because you're like telling everybody, we got a technical problem. All right, here we go. You ready?
I wasn't saying we had a technical problem. You just hear
said,
it.
you just said, hey, we screwed up and have the heater on in the background and it's blowing into the mics. Exactly. All right, so here you go. Trucking bad. This is called are you ready for this?
I'm
The
waiting.
most dangerous states for driving. And it's really the most dangerous drivers.
That's like two totally different things. The most dangerous state for driving
Oh, hold on a second.
or
Listen,
of drivers.
listen to me. Listen to me. It's really pointing at the drivers, not like the terrain.
Okay.
It's pointing at which state has the most DUIs and accidents and speeding tickets.
All right.
And it's all broken down. So I'm going to read to you basically the top 10. I'm going to start at number 10. All right, you ready? Mm-hmm. Now, this is pretty cool. All right. You ready for the 10th
Number 10.
10th most dangerous state because of the drivers? I'll say it that way. Number 10 is Colorado. They have, it says drivers.
Legalized dope. Sorry.
Well, you would think they'd be number one. You're going to be surprised at number one. Okay, you're going to be surprised at you know what? Let me just go back to one thing.
Woo, 80.
Listen, before I go on, you know what the safest state was? Nobody will believe me. Like, truck drivers won't believe me.
New Mexico.
Michigan.
What?
I know. How crazy is that? Split speeds, all that other crap. They actually have the least accidents, the least of everything. And that's from a company called Insurify. Okay, number 10 on the most dangerous, Colorado. They have 27% driving incidents. They have 11.95% accidents, 3.14% DUIs, and 13% of all their drivers get speeding tickets. That's actually pretty good numbers. Listen to this. Number 9. You ready for number 9?
Number 9.
Number 9, Wyoming. With 28% incidents, 13%
That's
speeding.
Those are bisons walking out in front of you in Wyoming.
Yeah. I'm not going to mention all the percentages. Number 8.
Number 8.
Ruthann, I'm
pulling my crude out. You know, the sloth.
taking your alcohol from you. All right, here we go.
I'm not drinking.
All right, here we go. Maryland.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see Maryland too. All right, number 7,
7.
Maine. I wouldn't think Maine was
I
up
wouldn't even think it either because there's really not a lot of people up there.
They don't have as many DUIs as most. They're only at 2.26%, but their accident rate's 14.29, and their speeding's 10%.
They don't mention those accidents are because a moose walked out.
No, not at all.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
that's probably what most of it is moose.
Number 6, Iowa. Yeah, JT's out there. 11.93%, and DUIs are 3.3%. Listen to this. Virginia's number 5.
I can see that.
Virginia number 5. But you know what's funny? Their DUI rating, this is kind of weird. Virginia's DUI rating is only 1.88%.
That's because they Uber everything.
In Virginia?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the kids outside
But
of
they're-
DC saying, "Oh, let's go party." They go party and we gotta get a Uber.
Maybe
Yeah.
they're speeding. Their speeding is almost 16%.
That's because they're trying to get back to
At
work.
fault accidents 12.28. Nebraska's number 4. Number 4. And
That's no.
they almost have 4% DUIs, that's high.
They're trying to stay warm. It's so cold there all the time.
Okay,
Just no.
speeding 13.9 and the at fault accidents 13.5.
It's the oil
Number 3
pipeline.
is South Carolina.
Huh.
15.6% of their people. Hey, you remember driving through South Carolina?
Yeah, Columbia.
It's like a
area.
racetrack, man, on 95. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand some of it. I guess it kind of threw me off a little bit.
Almost 16% speeders. That's huge. That is huge.
I'm still waiting for like 3 states that
See,
are coming in my head.
Just think about this. If you have, say you have 10 million people, right, in your state, 16% is close to 20%. 20% would be 2 million that got a speeding ticket. So they probably have like 1.7 million people that have speeding tickets. Pretty cool.
Well,
But listen to the DUI. Barely over 1%.
yeah, okay.
So they're speeding, but they're not drunk while they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're low on the DUI. Number 2, Wisconsin.
Okay, I'm really baffled.
Why?
Well, some of the states that I would have really expected, and you're at number 2, have not even come up on this list.
Exactly. You're right. I would have thought Massachusetts would be in there. But number 2 is Wisconsin.
It's the cheese.
Number 1, you ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
Number 1.
Number 1 is Ohio.
Okay, that I can see.
Yeah. They're kind of nutty up there in Ohio. If you're listening and you're in Ohio, you know.
It's
You know who you are.
It's like Jersey.
Listen to these numbers. Driver incidents, at fault incidents, 30%.
Wow.
Exactly. So if you have 10 million people, right, 3 million of them, all right, actually more than 3 million of them.
That's because the cops are like really strict.
Yeah, that's crazy. 3 million.
Driver's
Yeah,
fault.
3 million of them all have incidents. If they're at fault speeding or their speeding is 16.10%, which is huge.
No, well, hence like I said, they're really strict with the driving on 80.
Their at fault accidents 13.3, and their DUIs are just under 3%, 2.7.
Well, they get a lot of whiteouts right up there, and that might be why, between Ohio and Wisconsin and stuff, because of the lakes, maybe that has something to do with it.
So then they have the top 3. Like they have the 3 that have the top and everything. So top speeders are Ohio. Tops in accidents is Maryland. But check this out. That's what it's saying. It's saying accidents
big accidents.
It's saying Maryland has more at-fault accidents on their record. Guess who has the most DUIs? It's not the top 10 that we just read. North Dakota. I'm serious, almost 5%. It's like,
That's because there's nothing to do up there
yeah, it's like 2.some%
but work
more.
on the pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, that's
that's why.
That's nuts,
That's
isn't
all
it?
of it.
So there you have the report
And
on.
New York, California, Texas, and Florida did not make those lists.
Yeah, and
Just
Florida.
saying.
Yeah, you would think Florida
I
would do
was
it.
so thinking it because of the fact of all the
Blueheads.
we're a big melting pot of everybody
I know.
here.
We're not in top 10. Yay, Florida.
Yeah, about time.
You got the word of the day?
I do. I actually got 2.
By Word Genius. Guys, download the app for Word Genius, and you can learn a new word every single day. Add to your vocabulary. Make yourself smarter. Word Genius. Ruthann, what do you got?
Well, like I said, I have 2 because
Okay, the words of the day.
yeah. All right.
It's the part where she messes up.
No, shut up. I do not.
Hobbledehoy.
Hobbledehoy.
No, hobbledehoy.
Hobbledehoy. It's Spanish.
No,
Hobbledehoy.
What's it from?
hobbledehoy.
Where's it from?
It is a noun and it is unknown origin, but it is mid 16th century.
What does it mean?
A clumsy or awkward youth. So it's
Hobbledehoy.
every preteen.
Wow.
Hobbledehoy.
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 Our oldest son, we called him the Stitches King.
Oh my gosh.
He was
horrible.
Hobbledehoy.
He was a hobbledehoy.
Preston Hobbledehoy.
So was Rebecca for a while.
Yeah, but Preston blew him away. He had stitches everywhere. That kid, he was an accident. He was a walking accident.
He did. He had like stitches like 6 times
No.
before he was 8 years old.
I mean, he taunted dogs. They bit him in the face. I mean, this kid was just
Radiator.
He bled so much. That kid. Okay. Praise God though that he's alive today. Anyways, what do you got? Second word.
Second word. This is Old English.
Go ahead.
They don't know when it started, but it is a noun.
What is it?
Flitch.
Flitch.
Do it again.
Flitch.
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 What does it mean?
Okay, so I can't.
I like hobbledehoy.
So did I. There's 2 different like meanings for this.
Okay, go ahead.
A slab of timber cut from a tree trunk, usually from the outside. Okay, like
The bark or the outer rim
a slab of timber cut from a tree trunk.
on the outside. Okay. Or,
Well, it's just like, it's just like, how they get like the tree and they just
Yeah.
make the planks out of it or whatever. It's a slab of timber.
okay. What else you got?
The second one threw me off because I can't figure out how they can at all be the same. A side of bacon.
Flitch, a side of bacon.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather do that.
I can't figure out
Next
how
time
you
you're
can
in a restaurant, if the waiter boy is clumsy, say hobbledehoy, get me a flitch. Okay. Do we want anything else? Are we out of here?
Peace.
Let's move on. Peace. Praise the Lord.